Oh, guys, good, you hear? I am so excited. Guess what? I hope this isn't about your podcast again. Why, did you finally listen to it?
Before we start this podcast, let me invite you to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, YouTube, or any podcaster. I'm such a cute. All right, everybody, quiet on the set. The Groomer Next Door take one. To the audience. In 3, 2, 1. Action! And he is your host, my mommy and daddy, Chris and Stella Green.
Hello, Pups and Kittens, and welcome to a Valentine's Day episode of the Groomer Next Door. This is episode 114, and I'm your co-host, Chris Green. Sitting next to me is my Valentine, Sarah.
Hello.
And our littlest Valentine, Claire.
Hey.
Well, of course, this is going to be released on Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everyone. We hope that you and your pups are enjoying your times together and, maybe, having a little bit of fun to go with it. So,
well, first off, make sure all those awesome chocolates that you received from your Valentine is put up high. Put up away from your dogs, away from any of your animals, because we all know chocolate is dangerous to animals.
Right. And it does seem to happen a lot during this time. And even if you didn't get a Valentine's from somebody, I'm sure that everybody's going out and buying chocolate, because I can guarantee we will, but it will be the day after when everything goes super down in price. I love those.
What's $14 today is going to be $7 tomorrow.
Right? And that's what I like about it. It's like, I'll take it at $7 instead of the $14. It's going to taste the same. It doesn't expire.
If I'm going to be pudgy, it's going to be pudgy on a dime.
On a budget. I'm going to be pudgy on a budget. Yeah. Wow.
This pudge came half off.
Right? I didn't pay full price for this. So if you guys all gain a few extra pounds, just do it on a budget. Do it half off. At least then you can you can feel less bad about the whole process.
And then it gives you an excuse to go walk your dog.
There it is.
You got to get those extra pounds off. Put Fido on a leash. Have some fun.
And what's funny is the same thing applies to Easter and, let's see, all the other, like Christmas, Easter, all the candy holidays. I'm trying to think of all of them. I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, regardless. So this week we have, really cool week of a podcast for you guys. We're going to be doing a brand new segment, little fun little thing that we came up with last week. And thought, we're going to put that into the podcast. Keep everything fresh. Keep everybody, having new things and enjoying the podcast. But we will always, go with our main things that we go with. And our main topic this week is false pregnancies in your pup. Now, we actually have a dog who goes through this all the time. So we're pretty knowledgeable in this area. So with that said, let's go and dive into the weekly roundup.
The weekly roundup. Yeehaw.
All right, well, this week, as it has been and as it will be pretty much forever now, we're overly busy. We're to the point where we cannot actually take new customers, and that has been part of our discussions. Like, can we even take anybody else?
But at the same time, we are weeding out the ones that are groomer hoppers.
Right.
The groomer hoppers who they don't care who touches their dog, they don't care who handles them or how they handle the dog. They just want the dog clean.
Right. And I don't even think they even care entirely about that sometimes.
They might not, but the ones who are groomer hoppers, they won't go to a very busy salon.
Right.
So if it is booked out a few weeks, people stop coming to us and they go somewhere else that they can get their dog groomed in the next couple days.
Or even day of.
Exactly. As some other grooming shops have shown.
But those dogs are typically aggressive. They're temperamental. There's a great deal that can be issues. Well,
I mean,
I'm thinking
no,
of
I don't think so.
I'm thinking of a couple of them that we've seen in this year alone. They
Not
were very
groomer
different.
hoppers.
They were groomer hoppers. The last one was a groomer hopper. Yep.
Oh.
I can't remember names. I barely remember my own. Point is it was a difficult dog, and it was because it's always dealt with by other people. We were talking about this like 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's a little long to be talking about it 3 weeks ago, and we're just now getting to it.
No, and we're just talking. We weren't talking about this. We're talking about how are we in out, what we can actually bring in, what people we can bring in, and what people we're just going to have to refuse. That's what you're talking about. Anyway, so if you're still with us,
But
yeah.
we're weeding out the groomer hoppers, and we're getting more of a loyal base now. And people are booking. We have more people booking 6-8 weeks out, some 4 weeks out, more than we've ever had before. They know that if they don't book now, they're not going to get it then.
And that was the discussion, a big discussion that's happened multiple times this week, is people who have been waiting 3 weeks to jump on this merry-go-round. They are, say, well, it took me so long to get in. And the reaction is very simple. It's like, I do apologize. Here's how you can avoid it. Yes, the initial time is difficult. We understand that, and we apologize for that. But once you're on the ride, you book your appointment in advance. That way, when your dog's ready for its groom, you're able to just say, okay, when it's ready, it's going in. That's how you can undercut all the problems. And it's really simple. So that has been a challenge this week. And we've had that on I would say, a daily basis. I'm looking back on the week in my head, and I'm going, Monday, Tuesday was absolute wreck. I mean, we weren't out until almost 6 each day. Now, of course, that means 8:30 to 6. That's not like noon to 6 or 10 to 6. We're talking 8:15, 8:30, something around that time to that point, and that's just straight dogs. Which, no complaints, but it can be very challenging. Now, one thing that I noticed, and this can be an absolute, just drives me a little insane, and that is when you go into a grooming salon like what we have, when you're going in and then you say, hey, I got to be at work in 3 hours, or I got to be somewhere in 3 hours. Well, it was less than 3 hours. It was literally like 2 hours and 45 minutes. Knowing how our shop operates, and they have an afternoon appointment. You want to be there. You're there at 12:15. You want your dog done by 3 o'clock. The likelihood, yes, it happens, but it drives me insane. Absolutely insane, because like, it would work like we were just talking about. It works in a shop that does not have a demand. But in a shop that's demanding, what you're going to have is that you got to worry about the people who are there on time. You got to worry about the appointments, how they're set. Because we have two parts to it. Literally like a football game where there's one half and a second half. We have your mornings, and then we have your afternoon. Some shops don't, which I think is weird. They just walk in at any time. The grooming academy that I went to, they did that. I did not understand that. I was like, you have no structure.
Well, they can do that for the sole purpose of they're not making enough money.
Oh, that drives me nuts.
So they don't have people keeping appointments. So they're like, you know what? I don't care if there are appointments. You just come in. And that's no way to really handle it, because not only do you need structure in your life, the dogs need the structure in their life. And I'm sorry, we have too much going on just to say, hey, come in, first come, first serve. No.
And especially if, say, here's the example here. Say you booked your appointment in advance. This person may have booked their appointment 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, whatever the case is. I honestly think the people who are on actual regularity, who are coming in, who are doing it in a regular basis, they have more of a seniority to it. But, so that is definitely my pet peeve for it. Without even jumping into that segment, pet peeve, I'm just going to add it to the weekly roundup. Does drive me a little nuts.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. We do have customers that work graveyard shift.
That I don't mind.
At the end of their shift, they drop their dog off to us. And as soon as the dog's done, they're going to go to sleep. They pick up and go to sleep. So I do my hardest to make sure the dog's there just for a little bit.
Yeah, they're there until 10:30. I think 10:30 is the max. So
Yeah.
they're there 2 hours. That I understand.
And so then once they're dropped off, we get started, get going. But still 2 hours, and they give it to me without a problem. but I get them done first.
Right. But you also understand it. And you have also pet parents that actually have anxiety of being separated from their dog. You know, we've talked about this before. You'll say, oh, well, we'll hear it all the time. My dog has anxiety issues and cannot be away from me for long periods of time. Well, it's more of the reverse role, but whatever makes you feel better, we are understanding to that. So there's that as a case but they're already on a standing appointment. They're here and they're there.
But you gotta let people know, hey,
come in earlier if that's the case,
or call the day before.
Right.
Say, hey, I'm gonna drop my dog off at 12:30. But I need him done by 3. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Well, a small dog, yes, but this was a medium-sized schnauzer and bordering on a standard schnauzer. It was very difficult. Luckily, Sammy was a good boy. He was always a good boy.
Yeah, that was a little bit hard. I was like, oh no, this is not a good idea. So yeah, that was the week in review. I mean, nothing really out of the ordinary. I do have one last thing. I'll make that fast because I don't want to drag on the weekly roundup. But we did have a new dog that came in. I want to say it was Tuesday. It was an Aussie, if I'm not mistaken. The owner of the dog, she got it because, and let me kind of summarize this as fast as I can. Folks, if you have a child that's about to go to college, the biggest thing that we recommend you not do is don't buy your child, your daughter or son, a dog. Because they don't have the time to actually give to that dog while in college. And, you know, an Aussie needs the exercise. That dog has a great deal of energy. It's a year old, and it, of course, has barking issues, so it needs obedience training.
Well, it also has a lot of that barking and separation anxiety.
Yeah.
Because there's no barking while the people are home. It's when they're gone.
Right.
So it is mass separation anxiety, and they do need to address it with the trainer and find out what's the best for this pet.
Right.
Now, if you have a student that's taking 16 credits and their schooling are more than anything else in their life, they're studying, they're at the campus, they're at the library, they're doing what they have to do to pass college.
And they might even be working just to kind of pay some of this.
And to work so they can get money since college is so darn expensive. Mm-hmm. Well, why do you have a dog in student housing?
Yeah, it was a bad choice, but you know that's not the part that we're looking at. The part that I was looking at is first, you know, that there's your PSA, but then the other part is the parent now of the dog is the parent of the student, and she had a great deal of concerns. Now, one thing that we've always said on this podcast is when you're actually going to look for a groomer, you need to vet out what you're looking for. You need to vet them. You know, she called. She was recommended by it to us, if I'm not mistaken. But she had a million questions, and that's not a bad thing. Ask as many questions. You know what? Even if you think they're stupid, they might not be stupid. She asked you probably before she even left. She asked probably a million questions, about a half an hour's worth of questions. We told her because it was the first time this Aussie ever had a bath. She asked, well, you know, you told her, well, I will give you a progress report after when I called to tell you that the dog's ready. When I called her to let her know how her dog went, I swear, I think I was on the phone for maybe 20 minutes, really giving her as much information as possible. This is key to any grooming salon. They all should be able to give you this information. If they don't, they obviously don't have the knowledge or they just don't care. So just a piece of insight, something I wanted to actually bring up in this podcast. I knew I didn't even write it down. I meant to write it down. So luckily I remembered. All right, well, let's now go and dive into our G&D news. So Chris and Sarah in the news desk, take it away. Thank you, Chris. Well, today on G&D News, we have two of our really fun stories to actually share with you. Now, you're not supposed to drink in the newsroom.
Hey, don't pass judgment.
If there was bourbon in there, I would say, hey, but it's just a regular Coke. This week we have two really fun stories for you. The first story comes from right here in Missouri. I will actually title this one as Clumsy Dog. This poor dog, man,
It was lucky.
This dog needs bubble wrap, I swear. It's almost the equivalent to you for, kind of clumsy.
Hey.
And the second one was, it comes from Florida. If you actually are on our Facebook page, you'll notice I had shared the story on there with a conclusion, but I have the actual full story for you guys right here on the podcast. So, let's start off with Clumsy Dog, or AKA your best friend. They're like, shut up. All right, Claire, play that clip.
He's got a really strong will to live.
Apparently so. Maverick is already a survivor after a car hit him and he walked into a raccoon trap, all before Lisa Van Valkenburg turned foster housing into a forever home for the German Shepherd.
Yes.
Forever was almost cut short Thursday night when Maverick pushed past his invisible fence following a bathroom break.
We have some small lakes around where we live, and so they searched to see if maybe there was any holes in the ice.
Turns out Maverick found a sinkhole instead.
I heard a very faint, almost like a bark, but out of breath bark.
There he was, after 3 days of searching. Maverick had slid headfirst about 5 feet down and another 5 feet sideways. Van Valkenburg's family tried to get him out themselves, but feared the ground around the sinkhole would collapse and kill the fragile canine, so they called reinforcements.
Those firemen did not think twice.
Platte County firefighters and sheriff's deputies rescued Maverick and rushed him to the emergency vet. Van Valkenburg says doctors worked for an hour to stabilize him, washing mud out from his eyes.
Imagine having horrible arthritis and then being pinned in one position for, 3 days. That would really be terrible.
Well, Clumsy Dog. Clumsy dog. He's kind of like our daughter right now.
Oh my gosh.
Right as we're recording, Claire decides, I'm going to go run through the house and fall.
I see her heading to her bedroom, and then all of a sudden I see her head bobbling, and then nothing. And I was like, oh, there she goes.
Wow, way to crank that up.
She's okay, by the way.
Yeah, she's fine. I just always tell her, stop running, but she won't listen. So, on to the dog itself. I wasn't going to actually use this one when I first started hearing the clip, because I didn't want there to be, this sadness to it. Yet the dog's okay.
Luckily. I mean, wow.
He's a cat.
3 days, and that bark that she was talking about, it's when a dog goes hoarse, and they're barking so much, their throat swells in a sense.
Like Samson and Delilah.
Yes. They bark too much, they can't speak later.
Yep. Which, that's another story, but I was just like, oh, that poor dog. I mean, you talk about a dog that has 9 lives. I mean, hit by a car, buried practically. I mean, this poor dog has arthritis. This poor dog is just, it looks like I feel.
He's not going to leave their side ever again.
I think at some point he's bound to just say, you know what, Mom? I'm going to stay in the house. I'm done. Pack it in. I'm done. If you want me to go to the bathroom, it's going to be in the house. I am not leaving.
You put these pee pads down now.
Put a diaper on me, because I am not going out. And with all the arthritis, like, just put some Depends on me. I mean, come on, I'm already busted.
Oh, poor puppy.
You poor thing. All right. Let's go on to our story in Florida. So, Claire, play that clip.
You might recognize this pup from Facebook. A picture of Bobby went viral, showing him sitting with his head down in a Christmas sweater at Miami-Dade Animal Services, waiting to be adopted. That picture led to a rush to adopt the little guy, and today he went home to join a new family. Natalia Zaya has the CBS 4 News exclusive.
It was the picture that sadly stared at hundreds of thousands of social media users. It introduced the world to Bobby, a 1-year-old terrier mix wearing a green sweater and looking purely miserable in a kennel after his original owner abandoned him, turning him into Miami-Dade Animal Services in December.
I saw that he's like one of the ones that they need to get out quick before it's too late for him.
Christy Diaz came to meet Bobby and to possibly take him home.
He's sweet. He's really sweet.
But before she could even take him for a walk,
Do you want to come? Do you want to come with me?
Erica Blaisdell rushed in, hoping for a chance to become his new owner. She also saw the tale of his plight on Facebook.
Oh, he's fabulous. He's a love. He just wants somebody to love him.
No sooner had she asked about the process to adopt when Rob Miller, who works for a pet rescue group, offered to take Bobby.
I'll take him right now.
Well, I'm going to take him and be part of the family.
While these two discussed his future, the woman who would become Bobby's new owner was quietly filing the documents to adopt him.
I was lucky. I came right at the right time.
Paula Mariaca volunteers at the shelter and helps to put sweaters on the pups, like the Christmas sweater that made Bobby famous.
He's going to have a schnauzer, sister, and 2 English bulldogs as sisters. So he's going to be the boy of the house.
Bobby, of course, has hundreds of friends here at Miami-Dade Animal Services that are in need of forever homes. And shelter managers tell me the toughest dogs to adopt out are big dogs, just like this one. Paula hopes other dogs will be helped by Bobby's story and that social media users will continue to post pictures of those who need homes.
I think it's great. I think every dog here should get that much attention. That we wouldn't have them here.
Now Bobby is headed to begin a new life outside the confines of a crowded kennel. Natal Gazea, CBS 4 News.
Bobby's new owner tells us he spent the rest of the day at the vet to treat mange and an ear infection and for health tests. She says he'll have a safe, healthy home with her. To learn more about adopting a pet, log on to our website, CBS Miami.
Well, I'm so happy. You know, I knew that there would actually be a good ending to this. When I saw it first post in social media, I was just like, there's definitely going to be a happy ending for this dog. I knew that it was up for being euthanized. I also knew that with the power of social media, I knew that there would be, a good positive resolution. So I did find it funny though that people were they were nicely fighting. It was kind of almost kind of a Black Friday kind of fight to get this dog at when the cameras were around, and I thought that was a little funny. But I have a lot to say in this, but I'm just glad the dog was adopted.
Yes, and there's so many other dogs that I tell anybody my first suggestion when going to a shelter that is massively populated and high kill rates is go to the dogs that are on death row first. You ask the people there which ones are the ones who will be put to death first. And go look at them, because most likely there's absolutely nothing wrong with that dog. It's just been looked over. Oh, it's black. I don't want a black dog. Or it's a black cat. I'm superstitious. I don't want a black cat.
It's a pit bull. They're vicious. I won't have a pit bull.
So
Let's
go
try
back,
those nuts.
go over them, look at them, spend time with them, and just find one of them from death row.
I can't take you seriously with your little co-host on your lap.
I got Mama Kitty.
I mean, you're sitting there, the cat is purring. I know it's probably not going through the microphone, but here's the cat purring, eyes closed, and you're just cats are on your lap.
I'm just petting away. I got my little toe socks on, keeping my piggies cold and warm.
Oh, jeez.
Toe socks. Puppy monkey baby.
Oh, jeez. and I like how they're Halloween.
Hey, nobody needed to know that.
Nobody needs to know you wear toe socks either. Well, we're really happy this week that this pup was adopted. That's, I think, the biggest thing. And if you don't know the story, I mean, I have it posted on our Facebook page. It was a great story, a great read too. Both, the beginning and the end stories are on the Facebook page. But we also realize that not everybody is on the Facebook page to actually see all the stories that we have up there. So that's why we wanted it on the podcast as well. Well, so that concludes this week's edition of GND News.
And now a moment with Claire.
Okay, so, Claire, how do you know when it's time for a dog to get his hair cut?
So when a dog's hair is so high, like really high,
Real big?
yep,
Really long?
it really needs to get trimmed.
Okay, where on the dog's body grows the most?
Probably on his body or his head.
So everywhere?
Yeah.
So let's start with the feet. Maybe a little bit on the head.
Well, what do you like puppies to look like when they're done getting groomed?
Well, I like them to get their hair nice and shaved.
Okay.
And like the nails to get trimmed nicely.
Okay.
And don't like if your puppy's like huge nails, you don't want to cut by the edge, like his whole finger, cause it'll bleed.
Right.
Mommy did that once.
This actually reminds me of most people who come in for the first time asking
Mommy
to get
did
a
that
groom.
once.
This sounds just like it.
Mommy did that once.
It's very easy to quick a dog. Very,
Yeah,
very
you have-
easy.
Do you like it when the dog's face is fuzzy, or do you like it nice and cleaned?
Nice and cleaned.
Short?
No.
Not short? Do you like it long?
No. Like it normal. Like a normal.
So do you think I need a haircut?
No.
I think I do.
Call him Rooster Boy.
Yep. Okay, so anyway.
Okay, and how often should they get groomed?
Well, when they often, usually, if your dog smells bad and your dog has some shaving to do, and nails, like it's sharp, you need to. If you have some like trimming and scissors to cut the hair, you can do that.
Please, folks, do not use scissors at home.
Yeah.
So when you were out of school Friday and you came and hung out with us at work, was it cool to see the dogs get groomed?
Yeah, there was one, the black one.
Uh-huh. Harley?
Yeah, Harley's really friendly.
Mm-hmm. What does she do?
Usually if you get by your face and you want to kiss her and you want to make her lick you, you can just get by her face and she'll lick you.
Yes, she's a very big lover.
Well, thank you for being on this episode. Bye.
And this was A Moment with Claire. I want you folks put your paws together for Guess the Breed. Guess the Breed. With your host, Chris Green.
Hello, contestant, and welcome to Guess the Breed.
Hello.
Oh, we got Sarah, who joined us in the Guess the Breed studio this week. I'm going to have to get somebody next week. I want to actually rotate somebody else in here.
Your mom? Because, seriously, do you think she would want to do it?
Not a bad idea. I might actually have both of them. Both my mom and grandmother.
So you thought I was starting a your mom joke, and you were going to stop and redo that because you didn't want to.
Everything is a your mom joke all week long. I mean, that's all. Everybody at work, it's your mom. That's ridiculous. All right, so this week we are going to actually spotlight a specific actor, relevant and current actor, and we're going to talk about his preferred dog breed, which I thought that was a really unique choice. This week, I chose one of my favorite actors, Jamie Foxx. Now, Jamie Foxx, if you actually are not aware of it, his real name is Eric Marlon Bishop, birth name. I like Jamie Foxx better. But he was born December 13th, 1967 in Terrell, Texas. He's an actor, a singer, and a comedian. He's been in multiple different movies. If you've never actually seen one of his movies, well, I'm guaranteeing you did. If
You live under a rock.
you pretty much have. Django Unchained. He was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Django.
That was a good song. He was in the Annie remake type, yeah. He goes as far back, and I didn't even know this, to In Living Color, which was a TV show back in the 90s. I think it was there. He started in Living Color from 1990 to 94. I did not even know that. Now, his specific dog of choice is, well, that would give it away. I was seeing if you would actually, if you're paying attention.
I was listening.
You were listening. What was your favorite Jamie Foxx movie? Well, before we even start.
Gee, I don't know. I mean, he was great in Horrible Bosses.
He was great in Horrible Bosses 1 and 2.
Yes.
Yeah, he was.
But I think Django had been one of his best.
I loved Any Given Sunday. That was my favorite movie of all time with him.
Down was pretty
It was very good. Yeah,
and funny.
It was good.
I don't know. There's hardly anything he does that he can't make gold.
Yeah, he's just, you know, I never saw Ray. Never saw that one. But, you know, he's just one of those actors that I enjoyed listening. I enjoy all of his movies. Just never got around to it. All right, so on to his specific choice of breed. The lifespan of this dog is 8 to 10 years. The origin of this dog is Germany. Temperament: devoted, good-natured, alert, steady, self-assured, obedient, calm, confident. Sounds like me. Courageous and fearless. I'm all of those. What are you talking about, woman? The weight of this dog is between 77 to 110 pounds for the female. Males are 110 to 130 pounds.
My kind of dog.
Yeah, it definitely is. Females on their height is 22 to 25 inches, and on the male is 24 to 27 inches. Colors of the dog are black, mahogany, and tan. Do you have a guess?
Rottweiler.
Swing, swing.
That is correct, Rottweiler. One, I know that you want a Rottie.
Oh, I want a Rottie so bad. Now, I'll make that very clear real quick. I want Bo, the Rottweiler that we groom at our shop, who is coming in just a matter of a week. I am so excited.
I know next week I have no available appointments, and I think he's on one of those days. I know I think, don't I have an Akita this week? That's neither here nor there. Anyways, thank you for playing Guess the Breed.
You're welcome.
And now on to our newest segment and little fun game to play. It's Grooming Salon or...
Grooming Salon or...
Okay, on this week's Grooming Salon or, we will be doing Grooming Salon or Child Care Center.
Alright, now why don't you explain to everybody what this game is?
I am going to give you a name of either a grooming salon or a child care center, and you're going to tell me which one it is. I'll let you know if you're right or wrong.
Now, are we going to do multiple different places?
I have
or
1, 2, 3, I have 4.
Okay. Now, each week we'll change from either daycare, liquor store,
hair salon.
Hair salon, exactly. And that's pretty much how we're going to play this game. So, all right, ask away.
Okay, first one. Let's do Kitty Cats. Is that a grooming salon or a
I'm going to say it will be child care.
Good job. Kitty Cat's Child Care and Learning Center.
Cool. I figured there was not going to be a grooming salon that would have the word cat in it. Okay, go on.
Let's see. Truly.
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 That's a good one. I'm going to go child care.
Nope.
Wow.
Truly Dogs a dog boutique and grooming salon.
Ah, I see how that worked.
Let's do Funshine.
That will be childcare.
Funshine childcare.
Cool. I'm two for three.
Last one.
Okay.
Sweet Pea.
Wow. I'm gonna go grooming salon.
Good job.
Woohoo!
Sweet Pea Pet Salon in Colorado.
75%. Yeah.
Well, thank you for playing Grooming Salon or...
And now on to our main topic of the week. False pregnancies in female dogs. Obviously, I don't think male dogs have this, but I thought, we probably need to actually say female because I do get ripped apart on social media for not being accurate or 100% precise. So I want to make sure.
I mean, with our 6-figure income that we make off of this,
Off of this podcast?
Yes,
yeah, I know.
At least we should get the grammar police happy and make sure the due diligence is correct here.
Wait, we get paid to do this? I thought we pay to house all this stuff. Huh. Interesting. I didn't know. How much am I getting paid then?
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Nothing. All right. Well, for starters, this all kind of started with our own personal dog. Roxy goes into false pregnancies every 3 months. Is that about right? 4 months?
No. It's typically every 6 months or so.
No, it's that least.
Well, yeah, it's every time she's supposed to go into heat.
Ah, I thought it was always less because it feels like she's always in it.
Well, that's the problem. It goes for so long. Her false pregnancies start with being very sensitive with her toys. She starts cleaning her toys by flea biting and just licking them. And then she puts her toys near her, what is the proper term for?
Nurples?
Yeah. So the babies can feed her teats.
There it is.
And so her toy baby can feed. She brings the puppy out for all of us to see. And we say, good puppy, good job, mama dog, kind of thing. It happens a lot and it goes for a long time. And when she finally gets over that feeling of being pregnant and the feeling of being a mama dog, she tears her toy up.
Yeah, she does. It is quite comical. Wait, you're not my baby.
Okay, we're done.
I'm done with you. So, what are the signs of false pregnancies and when do they occur? Now, the symptoms of false pregnancy usually begin 4 to 9 weeks after the previous heat period and mimic the symptoms of true pregnancy. The more common signs of pregnancy including mammary gland, which is the nipples,
the teats,
the teats, the nurples, however you want to put that, enlargement with or without the production of milk, which is I don't think I've seen that. Periodic vomiting and fluid retention. Most of those I have not noticed with Roxy, but these do have tendencies to happen. The female often has a decreased appetite, but seldom appears to lose weight, probably due to the amount of excess fluid she retains. These symptoms can occur at any age and do not necessarily follow every cycle. The severity of the clinical signs varies between individuals and may vary from one cycle to the next in the same dog. Behavioral changes in pregnancy or false pregnancy include nesting, mothering, activity, restlessness, decreased interest in physical activity, and occasionally even progression. Some affected dogs will show signs of false labor and then protectively guard toys or other small objects.
That's definitely Roxy. Now, the way to fix it right away and never have this problem, you go and get them spayed.
Yeah.
And the problem is that Roxy's getting up there in age. So...
Yeah.
That's kind of out of the question right now. But we try to help her along in this. We don't rip the toys away from her. We do not hide her toys from her. We do not take her bedding away from her. You gotta let them go through it at their own pace.
Right.
And if your dog's showing signs of this, take him into the vet and to make sure this is what's going on. If there was any chance your dog got out and found a partner,
well then, yeah.
Then it's probably a real pregnancy. But Roxy is only around female dogs, and she's never out of our sight.
Right. And she doesn't go wander around. She's not an outdoor dog. She doesn't have a yard that she's out in all the time.
Right. So we keep our dogs under close lock and key.
I don't think that she'd want to go out.
No, she goes outside and sniffs. I want inside. I want
my couch.
My big fluffy bed that I jump in on. If there's a human in there, great. I got a little heater.
Right.
like we don't live here. We exist here with the dogs who live in the house.
The dogs are the actual occupants. We're the squatters.
Yeah, we live around our animals.
After the female dog has a uterus cycle, her ovaries begin to produce hormones regardless of whether she is pregnant or not. These hormones prepare the uterus to receive the fetuses and maintain pregnancy. If the dog is pregnant, the hormones will continue to be produced until shortly before the puppies are born. If she is not pregnant, the level of hormones begin to decline after 4 to 6 weeks. In the early stages, the increased levels of circulating hormones cause changes. They mimic pregnancy as hormone levels decline in the non-pregnant dog. They send signals to the body that stimulate false labor and mammary gland development. The reason that these hormone changes occur in the non-pregnant dog remains a mystery.
It feels like I'm in sex ed right now at school.
And now we're going to
listening to the teacher read straight from the textbook so I can read myself.
Yeah, but the thing is that
that's what I'm just saying.
You pick on everything. You know that? You do. You stifle my creativity. Now, hey. You'll be in detention if you don't pay attention.
Well, this is a rated G podcast, sir.
Wait, we're not in school? Now, here's the next part. And of course, I want to be literal. I want to actually be factual to what the situation is.
Please don't.
Please do. One thing that we want to make sure is that we have facts. We want to make sure that we, apply the actual text of what goes on to something that we observe. That's part of the whole reason of having the factual side and the actual medical definition to this, because we actually see it constantly, practically. Now, again, we don't experience, or we don't visually see Roxy experiencing as much of these symptoms as they say. I would actually imagine that if your dog was vomiting or your dog was experiencing all of these, then you obviously want to, definitely look into getting her spayed.
The labor part too. She's never gone through anything that seemed or to have made apparent that it would be labor pains.
Right.
But she does get milk, and she does leave wet spots on the couch when she gets up. Just like we need to get her bra pads to soak up the milk that she's producing, and we try our hardest to make her feel comfortable.
I think that you find this to be really funny because it's got the word, glands and milk.
No, that's not it. Is that I feel bad for her.
I always feel bad for her when she goes through it, but she's just such a doll that it's not really, she's not in any discomfort. So that's the first thing. When the dog's in discomfort, then you have to, do the right thing by stepping in. Roxy becomes just maternal. She wants the attention. She gives you hugs. Yeah. She just absolute sweetheart. So It's not. It's the same thing.
She's just like, hold me.
Pretty much.
Hold me, I love you.
Pretty much, and that's kind of how it is. It's really kind of sweet. That's why we've never really stepped in and intervened to it.
Yeah, because she does have heat, but it's not as much as a normal dog should. That's not spayed.
Right.
But the best bet is to get the pets fixed.
Well,
then
yes.
you won't have that problem anymore.
That is true.
Especially if your dog does go through what looks to be labor pains or the restlessness.
Unrestlessness?
No, wait a second. That's not a word, is it? Restlessness.
Yeah.
There you go. Sorry, grammar police. You can come after me all you want. Dang gummit.
All right.
I ain't no math magician or English lit teacher.
So, how is false pregnancies treated? Mild cases of false pregnancies do not require treatment. Mild cases of false pregnancies do not require treatment since the symptoms will subside in approximately 14 to 21 days. If the dog appears physically ill or the behavioral changes are severe enough to cause concern, treatment is indicated. Treatment is symptomatic. My brain was not going to actually go from symptomatic to sympathetic.
I went from a kitty on my lap to a Roxy on my lap.
Speaking of which, and may include tranquilization to relieve anxiety, treatment with diuretics in order to reduce the milk production, or relieve fluid retention in rare cases. Hormonal treatment may be required. If the female will not be used for breeding, they actually want you to actually go with ovarian. It's a word. I'm not even going to go with that. It's recommended to prevent future episodes. What I'm guessing is probably spayed. You can just use the word spayed.
Hysterectomy.
Ideally, this surgical sterilization should be performed after all symptoms have resolved. If she is surgically sterilized while she is experiencing signs of false pregnancy, symptoms may continue for several weeks despite the fact she has been spayed. See, that's what I don't understand. See, I like to read medical journals. They're great, but some of the words are pointless. So, like we're saying, like I had said the start of this, I want to have the text in front, and I want to actually decipher it. Of course, your first concern whenever you have a dog is to have it spayed or neutered. Same thing with cats. If for some reason you get an elderly dog, whenever, stay in your control room. We're recording here, little one. Boy, people could be calling in. How do we know?
Oh gosh, you answering your watch phone.
Which we will talk about calling the podcast another time. There is going to be a way to leave a message, I think. Anyway, that's beside the point.
Dum dum dum.
Dum dum dum. But anyway, we always say, if you're going to a shelter and you're going to adopt a dog, a lot of times dogs are elderly in shelters, and a lot of times with an elderly dog, they may not have actually been spayed or neutered. Depending on their age, you've got different, pros and cons to actually go through with sterilization, as they like to say. With these symptoms, they're not always problematic. If the dog lives a very healthy life through it, and it's just, this
bad PMS almost.
And not even that. I mean, with the examples of Roxy, I wouldn't even give it PMS.
She gets moody sometimes.
So
she doesn't want Claire around her stuff. So.
Your mom gets moody. Yay! I got to play!
Your mom got to play. Bazang!
Bazanga. But, with these situations, she's living a fine, normal life. It's a more of a...
She likes the attention when she brings her baby out for us to pet. And then when we know she's done, that same baby toy that she... And it's a loofah dog. and she brings it up to us.
For hiding. To be hid, yeah.
Right? And then she has no problem with it being flung across the room. Beforehand, she would go into some serious panic attack if her baby was taken away.
So you pretty much learn the actual cycle itself. You know when you're at the first days to the 21 to 28 days later type of scenarios. So, again, if your dog does go through any of these things, look for the signs, determine if your dog actually is an extreme case that you need to step in, or like us, it's very mild, no harm, no pain, no nothing, just wants attention, wants love, and simple as that. So every case is different, every dog is different. Use your best judgment.
Yes.
Anything else you want to add to this?
No, I gotta go wash my hands because I'm allergic to Roxy.
This is why you don't bring animals in the studio.
Yeah, I'm. Not only are we allergic to what we do, you got dander allergies. I have just dog allergies. And then Roxy, who loves to cuddle, who loves to snuggle, loves to give kisses. Every time she does, I have to go and get my hands washed. I gotta wash my face because I break out. And I think Claire Bear should come here.
Yep, keep going.
Claire! There we go.
You can come out of the control room.
Oh no, I got Katana.
All right.
Hi, Katana.
Well, by that sound, I hear the applause, so that must mean that the show is over. I'm Chris Green. Have a pet-tastic week.
And I'm Sarah Green, making sure everybody realizes life is so short. Play with the pet.
Claire.
I'm Clay Green.
I didn't throw you off, I promise. Who are you, and what do you want to tell the people for going away for this week?
If having fun with your pets and kittens.
Goodbye, everybody.
Okay, gotta go in my bedtime. All right, good show, everybody. That's a wrap.
Was without doubt worst episode ever. Rest assured that I was on the internet within minutes, registering my disgust throughout the world.